All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Madison Reed's Hair Color House Party. We are coming to you live and on Facebook Live from our bathrooms and our kitchens to hang out tonight and do our hair color together as a community. We are going to be walking you step by step through everything that you need to do a successful root touch-up. So welcome if you're brand new to coloring. Welcome if you've been coloring for a while and just want to get some tips and tricks. We are going to help you with all of that. So we hope that tonight you'll turn your cameras on. We are doing a giveaway. At the end of the show, we are going to announce a winner for a full Radiant Color kit and gloss. And cameras need to be on to be eligible for that contest. Also, that will help us guide you better if you happen to be coloring live with us tonight. And tonight's show is for more than just fun. It also has a lot of purpose and is close to our heart. For every person that's here tonight, we're going to be donating $1 per attendee to Direct Relief. And Direct Relief is continuing to support some of the storm recovery efforts in Texas that still very much need our help. So we are going to be contributing $1 per attendee to that cause. So that's also great news and provides wonderful purpose for everyone being here tonight. So let me give you some housekeeping before we start with our lovely model, Danae, who's going to be doing her color for us and demoing for us. Here's sort of the housekeeping. If you're new to Hair Color House Party, we do a live demo and take questions during the show. If you want to ask a question live while you're here with us, you do that by raising your hand and we will call on you to ask your question here with us and give you live help. How you do that is if you are on a computer and you go down to the bottom of your screen, you'll see a reactions button. And under that reactions button, it'll give you the option to raise your hand. And then we'll see a list of folks that are waiting in the queue to ask us a question live. And I think if you're on your phone, it'll appear to be 3 dots. And then so just click into that. You'll have the ability to raise your hand. And if you don't see either of those and your camera is on and you just physically raise your hand, we'll try to get to you too. If we don't get to your question live today, don't worry about it. At the very end, we're going to give you an email address that you can email us your questions so that if we don't do your Q&A live, we'll still do some Q&A via email after. And those email questions all go directly to me and my team. So we'll make sure that a professional colorist is answering your questions for you. So if you have a question, make sure that you rename yourself by hitting the square that you're in on Zoom. If you happen to say iPad or iPhone, we might not know who's asking the question. So hit your little square, rename yourself by whatever name you wish to be called if you have a question, and then we will answer questions in the order that they come in. Sounds good? All right, awesome. So I would like to start by introducing our lovely model, Danae. Danae is a member of the Madison Reed family. She is not a professional hair colorist, but she is very familiar with the brand. She colors at home. She has a lot of experience. And today she's going to take us through step by step how she does her color at home. All right, Danae, you ready to share with us your
ready
touch-up story?
So welcome everybody. Excited to do this demo. As Siobhan mentioned, I'm not a colorist. During COVID, I also had to do my hair at home, and I've done my hair at home for years as well. But really enjoy the Madison Reed because it has everything you need. So, and it gives you step-by-step instructions. So it's really easy to follow. And like, if I can do it, you absolutely can do it. And this kit makes it so easy to do. I do my hair color. As you can see, I do keep a little wisdom stripe, but you can see that I do need to color. And then I'm also trying to cover all my other sparkles that are here in my hairline, around my head, and the back of my hair. One thing during COVID, I have done the messy bun. This is kind of a daily thing, but you can really tell when it's time for you to color your hair. So I'm so happy to have this kit to do it at home. I will be doing the permanent hair color. So I will be using this on my roots and throughout the hair, just the roots to touch up and cover my sparkles. And the color that I use is Positano Black. Okay, I lay down parchment paper and I put all my tools and pieces on top of it. And then also let's see. Oh, so all my tools are there, and you get all your tools in our kit. As you open it up, you have your instructions, and everything I'm going to use tonight is all in here. And I'll hold those up as I use them and get ready to do my thing. And I also encourage you to open up the instructions, and it's when you're doing your hair at home, maybe just tape it to the mirror so your hand's free and you can follow along and get your hair color steps in order. How we're going to start is I'm going to start with first I'm just going to cover my wisdom stripe, and then I'm going to start applying the section of my hair and start applying the barrier cream.
I love the wisdom stripe verbiage as well. So that's this gray stripe. This is new from COVID, right? Like this is a freshly grown out gray patch.
Oh. Yep. And actually the hair color bar encouraged me to grow it out, and I embraced it and I did it and I love it. But I also love covering up the other sparkles.
So Danae, while you're getting that covered, you're going to use just a little bit of foil and conditioner or barrier cream there?
Correct. I'm going to cover it in foil, and then I'm going to put a little barrier cream around the edges so that when I'm doing my roots, that it keeps the color off those and I don't accidentally color a section I don't want to.
Okay, perfect. So this touches on a great question that we get a lot. A lot of women don't gray in the same pattern all over their hair, right? Most of us get a little bit more gray in the temples or in certain parts of our hair. It's not 100% even distribution. And sometimes when women are either backing off coloring and purposefully wanting to bring in more gray, or they're starting to color, they might not want to go full commitment all over color. And I love this little tip of just saving yourself a little bit of a glinty silver moment right around the face or anywhere that you have extra gray. Perfect. And just being a little bit more in control over it. Like you can do that. You can take a little bit of gray out of the parting line or out of the hairline and just save that if you want. And I think it looks really cool, actually. I think it looks very fashionable. And you just happen to have really good gray, like really good silver there.
I got it from my daddy.
There you go.
But I will say, if I kept letting it go, this silver streak would be down half my head and I would literally look like Cruella de Vil. So it is a conscious choice to tame that stripe.
Okay, I just want to bring everyone else into the fold. If you have joined a little bit late, I want to remind folks how to raise their hand or how to get into the question asking queue. I see we have one raised hand now. So if you know that you want to ask us a question live about your hair color in general, tips and tricks about application, go to your reactions down at the bottom of the screen and hit raise hand, and we'll answer those as they come in the order they come in. So really quickly before we get to live questions, because we do kind of toggle back and forth, take some questions, do some color. I want to walk you through what Danae is going to be doing right now to prepare. So she's getting her hair all sectioned out. If you have really short hair, like a pixie cut or a super layered bob, this might not make sense for you, and don't worry about it. If trying to section your hair into 4 neat little sections is, the juice isn't really worth the squeeze, don't worry about it, because when you're coloring your hair, the hair color will sort of hold it over. This is usually better if you've got like chin length or longer hair. So Danae's got her kind of 4-part cross section. Barrier cream.
I'm going to go in with barrier cream.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, barrier cream is a lifesaver. This is one of those things that is sort of, we don't often get for at-home color, but this is something that happens in salons professionally, protecting the hairline so that you don't, finish your coloring and walk away with that telltale stripe right across your face. We want to keep the color where it's intended to go, which is on the hair only. So one thing that I will say is be mindful that you don't push that too far into the hair because it's barrier cream and it's meant to block color. So in order to get those little gray sparklies all covered on the forehead, tops of the ears, and kind of around the nape of the neck, especially if you wear your hair up a lot. But this stuff is amazing. It is such a game changer to have this included in your kit because it just makes it feel a little bit more high touch, a little bit more detailed, sort of one of those, we've thought of everything for you. Perfect, Danae. So Danae, since you're doing barrier cream and on your way to shaking up and mixing up color, do you mind if I pop over and take a live question?
Of course.
Okay, so you keep doing what you're doing. I am gonna come over. And so the name that I have here is, I think it's Remac. Please let me know if I'm saying that incorrectly. And I'm gonna ask to unmute you, my friend. Hey there.
Hey, my name is Rima. Thank you so much for the amazing description. You might have answered it because I have very, 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 very thick hair.
Okay.
And it never works where I can partition it like 4 ways. And it's like a nightmare. My hair falls no matter what I do. It falls over and it's never neat. And I dread coloring my hair because of that. And I watch videos around, stuff like this. It's like, break it down. And I bought your clips, yet it always falls over. Any suggestions or ideas?
Yes, 100%. So I would say, is your hair thick but short, Rima?
It's kind of it's getting to be a shoulder length right now.
Okay, here's what I would do. If that whole thing is not working for you and it's not being helpful, take your wide tooth comb, part your hair and just hold it apart, and then get your first layer of root touch-up on across that parting line, and that will hold it down and let you work with it a little bit better. You know, some hair, especially if the hair is soft, the clips aren't that helpful.
Right.
Just totally skip that and kind of make the partition with your fingers and then use the weight of the cream color and really get it on there thick. We will tell people very often, if you want to know how thick the color should be on there, it should resemble like Greek yogurt or icing on a cake. You want it really thick so you can really see it sitting on top of the surface of the hair. Just part your hair with the color itself. I think it's going to be much less frustrating.
Say it again, please. What you've said at first, the first part.
If you part the hair and use the color itself to hold your partings, you know, when you just apply the color, it'll sort of hold things where they go. Just lay it down nice and flat with the consistency of like Greek yogurt. So put the color on really, really thick.
But you don't have to put clipses or anything.
Absolutely not. You don't have to. These are all just like, if this works for you, great. If not, the most important thing is that you're using nice, small, neat sections. But if clips don't help you with that, totally skip them. So I'm going to move back to Danae because I want to make sure that we watch what you're doing. So she's got her color all mixed up.
Yep.
And go for it.
Oh, no. What I was going to say is I did use a tube key to squeeze the color out of the tube. We do sell that. It's awesome. Good to the last drop. And I'm all shaken up. And I think I was going to share with you that for Rima, for your question, I normally do with Siobhan, I do section it sometimes, but when I'm just kind of don't feel up to it, I normally just part it and do the color and then flip the section with no clips and I still get a great result. Just the weight of colored hair kind of holds it. What we're going to show you is happening here. You could do it without the clips too. I've done it many times. It works.
And if you missed what we were saying in the beginning, as Danae gets rolling here with her applying on her first section. That little piece of foil that you see on her forehead, Danae just has this beautiful gray silver stripe that she likes to keep. So what she's done is just put some barrier cream, put a little foil on there, nothing fancy, and gotten that out of her way. So she's just going to color everything around that, which I love. I love that approach of just customizing it. Because I think sometimes, you know, especially if you're using color at home, you might not even realize that's an option. You might just feel like I'm either coloring or I'm not. So I love the approach of customizing this. So Danae, walk us through, you've got kind of the two options, apply with the bottle that comes in the kit or apply with the bowl and brush. Break down for us what you're doing and why you do it.
Yeah, so what I found works best for me is I will go ahead and mix my color in our in the activator bottle. And then what I like to do is pour about half of this into our color bowl. And I use a bowl and brush for the front of my hair. And then when I go to the back, I find I'm more coordinated to do my color by using the applicator bottle for the back of my head. So I do half and half. I use both options, the front with the brush, and then the back I use the bottle.
Okay, perfect. So you're all mixed up and heading into the bowl and brush application?
Yep.
Okay. A lot of people, you know, if you are coloring with us or planning on coloring soon and you don't have a bowl and brush, don't stress out about it. Don't worry about it. Applying with the bottle is perfect. It works. It's actually really super cool because it's a non-drip bottle. So you can use that nozzle to section your hair out and get nice thin sections, and it's not going to be squirting product until you squeeze it. So it's a non-drip applicator. It works like a dream. You don't need to have anything additional. The bowl and brush is like a nice to have. And a lot of women really like it because it feels kind of like painting, and you can use the brush to get a little bit more control. Okay, so we've got bowl and brush going.
Oh, here, there's my color. Okay.
And we're gonna watch you do your first maybe couple sections, Danae, and then I'm gonna move over to another question because I know we have a couple folks waiting.
So I'm just gonna start out by, I'm gonna start with my right section. I'm gonna let it out so that I can start doing my individual sections, but I always start with my part and then start walking like a book.
So that verbiage, I love, love, love that book reference. So if you see how Danae's putting this on her roots and she's just painting it on the roots, that's another huge thing that, you know, when people start coloring at home, they often don't know that really with permanent color, you're just ideally supposed to put it only on the root, only on your new growth, unless of course you're coloring for the first time, you have to do all over. But when you're touching up, we really, you know, prefer to not have permanent color pulled through over and over. Because if you've ever done that before, you probably know that's how it starts to get really dark on the ends. The top ends up looking really pretty, but the ends can look sort of inky and like too much color. So Danae, you're doing a perfect job. And that spine of the book reference, like she's parting them like pages of a book and then applying color right at the scalp, which is like the spine of the book. Okay, so Danae, you keep going. Dale has her hand raised and she's coloring with us. So I want to make sure that we get to that because.
Me and you, Dale.
Okay, Dale, I'm going to ask to unmute you. All righty, hi. Oh, wait, hang on. I think you might have to press mute on your screen if you haven't already, or unmute rather.
There we are.
There
Hi.
we go. Hey.
I've never colored my hair before. So I just want to make sure I have it right.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm realizing maybe this was not to follow along. Maybe I do it later.
No,
But,
follow along. It's gonna be great.
I don't have, so I just, you said just to do it. I was wondering, my question was originally it looked all white, but I see as I'm shaking it that it is turning the color it's likely meant to be. But so I just do my roots, all of my roots, and just leave it at that, right? For
Well,
first 30 minutes.
Are you changing your color? Are you going to something darker?
I am. I have all natural hair color and I'm going red.
Oh my
kind of a blondish
gosh.
color. Yeah.
Oh, I love this. I wish I had
bored.
confetti to throw or something. This is awesome. So Dale, for you, here's what I would do. You need that color to get all over roots to ends because you're going for a full on change, right? The roots only would be like once you start maintaining this.
Okay.
What I would do right now is Danae is pinned to the screen, right? Like you can see her.
Yeah, I can see her.
So do you see how she's being real meticulous, taking her roots only down about that first half inch or so?
Yes.
You do not need to be that careful. You go and get that color on almost all the way down, like halfway down through your hair, like down to about the tops of your ears. Get that everywhere, okay? And then when you're done with that, that will have taken you about 15 minutes or so. Then go back through and apply the rest of the bottle and work it through your fingers to bring it through the ends.
Okay.
And then you're going to set your timer for 35 minutes. And so what that means is that your ends are getting a little less time than the top of your hair. And the reason we want that, and if anyone else is kind of thinking about coloring for the first time, you know how natural hair, just the way your hair grows out from your head, it's always slightly lighter on the ends, just from sun exposure and just how hair grows out. And it's slightly warmer at the ends. That's just kind of how hair naturally looks. We want to emulate that when you're coloring your hair. So if you let the stuff at the top sit a little longer, it'll be ever so slightly richer and deeper here, and ever so slightly naturally lighter through the ends. Does that make sense?
It does, yes.
Yep. Oh my gosh, I am so excited about this.
You're going to keep me on task, right? What's that?
What color are you using?
I am using, oh my goodness, it's the, I think it's the lightest red. I can't remember what it's called. Vesuvius red.
Oh, this is going to be beautiful. Okay, I'm really, really excited.
Yeah, I'm trying to grow it out, but okay, here we go.
Okay, Dale. Well, if any other questions come up during this process, just raise your hand again. And knowing that you're coloring live, I'll try to make sure we get your questions first. You got this. You're going to do a great job. Don't forget your barrier cream. Okay.
Yes, I got that on. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. All right. So, Danae, walk us through where you are in your process.
So what I've done is I finished my right side. And once I've finished, I just kind of grabbed up my ends, rolled them, and just clipped them real quick. And then I started back at my part and started on this side. So I'm about a quarter way through my book on this side. So down there, did my roots, grabbed a section, and now I'm about halfway down.
Perfect.
Going in.
You're doing a beautiful, beautiful job, Danae. But what I do want to bring attention to here is, you see how Danae, this line, her sections, little zigzaggy, not some like surgical precision. This is totally fine. You don't have to be overly worried about these kinds of things, as long as you are just taking, the name of the game is that your sections should be thin. And when I say thin, I mean that you should take a piece of hair that you could like read through if you had to, because especially if you're covering gray, one of the main reasons that people don't get the coverage they're looking for is the color just didn't physically touch all the hairs it needed to touch. So making, when we talk about pages of a book, really make it a page, like a piece of paper, get your color on nice and thick so it can saturate all the way through and cover the whole hair. And you don't have to worry about being a perfectionist about every little line. Also, we're going to talk about something later called cross-checking that's going to catch anything that you missed anyway. So we totally have your back on that. Okay, Danae, so I'm going to take another question. And while I am doing that, will you wait for me to come back before you move to your back section?
Yes, I will.
Okay, awesome. So, okay, Laura, you are next in line. So Laura, I'm going to ask to unmute you. Hey, Laura.
Hi.
Hi there.
I am a natural redhead, and I turned kind of a mousy gray a number of years ago, and I've been using Madison Reed's Geneva Red, and I love, love, love it. It's very close to my original hair color. My question is, can I use that on my eyebrows?
I love this question, and I am so excited that you asked it because Danae is going to talk to us about eyebrows. So the question for anyone who didn't hear it is, can I use the hair color on my eyebrows? No, we do not recommend that you use permanent hair color on your eyebrows. It's just not safety tested that way to be applied near your eyes. What we actually do recommend is, and Danae is going to walk us through this, our root touch-up powder. It's not a permanent solution, but this root touch-up powder that is makeup for the hair for gray hairs at the root line was formulated to emulate perfectly natural dimensional hair color. And we have a warm brunette that would look perfect with that Genova. So that root touch-up powder is amazing for eyebrows. And it even has a little brush that, like an eyebrow brush that you can buy with it. So yeah, don't use it on your eyebrows, but I do recommend the root touch-up powder instead.
Okay, awesome. Well, I actually have it and use it. I've never used it on my eyebrows.
Oh, okay, you're going to be pleasantly surprised. It'll be your new favorite.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you got it. You got it. Okay. So before you go to your back sections, and Dale, I can see you, you're doing an amazing job. Yeah, you're doing, that's exactly what it's supposed to look like. Okay, we had a question come in from Facebook Live, and this is a formula question. So our friend over at Facebook Live is currently using Barletta Brown, and it's seeming a little too red. So that tone has a lot of neutral in it. It's meant to be for advanced gray coverage. So if you want something that has a little bit more of a cooler tone, for NA, I think that is Messina. I will double check myself, but go for something when you're looking at the website under where you can change your color. The more N's that are present in that color, the more neutral, which can sometimes read slightly on the warmish side. You want to look for something with an A, because that indicates there's ash and it'll be balanced. So NA, N will give you that gray coverage, A will take care of that, get rid of the redness. I would also recommend, if you're a brunette and you struggle with redness, brassiness, warmth, the color reviving gloss in Espresso is amazing. That will help a lot, as will the color therapy mask in the shade Cafe. And what's beautiful about the color therapy mask, that's our color enhanced conditioner, is it's a one-stop shop. You're already shampooing and conditioning anyway. This is just a great way to have color in your conditioner, and that is an ash brunette. So that'll knock out any of that redness that you're seeing. And if I didn't quite nail your question, or if you have more follow-up about changing shades, just email that email address we're going to show you at the very end, and those will come directly to me, and I'll work with you one-on-one to make sure you get, personal advice and all taken care of. Okay, so let's pop back over to Danae's application. So we're going to the back.
Yeah, so we're going to the back. So I'm going to switch back to the bottle. I'm gonna flip it. Just tell me if you can't hear me.
Okay, we'll do.
I'm gonna start on the right-hand side.
Beautiful.
The bottom up, and I kind of work from the center out.
Okay, great. So this is a question we get so much. I feel okay about doing the front of my head where I can see what's going on, but what about the back? I can't see. I don't have a helper necessarily to be doing this for me. I'm going to tell you, as a professional colorist, you're doing it by feel. There's a couple ways that you can do it. Danae's doing it vertically. This is also my preferred way. I like to keep it going with that whole pages of a book thing. And then you can see she's using the nozzle of the bottle to feel where she's getting that along her scalp line. You can feel the coldness of it. And then literally you're going to go in with your fingertips at the end and just sort of massage it through to make sure that you can feel that cold lotion on all of the area of your roots. But don't stress yourself out being overly perfectionistic about this back. You really don't see every single gray hair through there, and you're going to do this, you know, just by feel. Now, vertically is my preferred way. That's what Danae is doing. She's sticking with that whole pages of a book thing. The other way that you could do it is if you take horizontal sections going the opposite way, you can hold and work from the top down. You can hold the part out that you've already applied and then just keep adding to it. So take a little slice of hair, you know, put the color on the scalp, give it a little massage with your fingertips to make sure you can feel everything, and then work your way down. There's no wrong way. You know, as long as you can feel it getting on contact with the scalp, it doesn't matter which direction you apply. Okay, so Danae, you're moving on over to your last quadrant.
Yeah, so again, I just kind of start in the center, or what I think is the center.
Yeah, that's pretty centered.
And I start just moving this way.
Beautiful. Okay, so while you're doing that last quadrant, I'm going to move over and take another question, okay?
Yep.
And then after we do this question, I want to walk everyone through cross-checking because that's an awesome at-home tool as well. Okay. So Laura, you asked your question, and I think this is Dirakshan. Let me, please correct me if I'm butchering your name. I'm going to ask to unmute you.
Yeah, hi. No, you said it right. Direction here. Yeah. I have a quick question. Like, if I'm mixing it in a bowl, what is the ratio of activator and cream that I should be mixing?
Okay, this is a fantastic question. Are you breaking it up because you don't need all of it? Like, are you planning on using a little bit less and then saving some? Oh, wait, Dirakshan, hang on. You got, I think you may have remuted.
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, you've gotten me muted. So yeah, I just want to do the roots, and
Okay.
the others, like it would be waste. I'll just have to drain the remaining product. And
okay.
It's nice to know that you can save on for another 4 weeks. So what's the ratio, a healthy ratio where it will not harm your scalp or your hair?
Yep, you got it. Okay. So so Dirakshan's question is, if I don't need all the quantity that you get in a typical kit, right? Maybe for folks who have super short hair or fine hair, or you just don't need all that's in there, you can break the kit up. The ratio is 1 part color. And for me, as a home user, I would do this by like the teaspoon. So a teaspoon of color, say, and then 1.5 teaspoons of activator. If you're using the whole thing the way that Danae is doing, you'll never have to worry about that because you just put your whole tube into your activator, shake and use. But if you're saving some for later, for another application, or you just don't need the whole thing, 1 part color, 1.5 parts activator, mixed in something separate. Now, it sounds like you already know this because you mentioned mixing it in a bowl, but this is always worth reminding people. Once you have mixed the color, it's game over. Once you mix the color, you only have that time to use it. So for instance, like Danae probably has color left in her bottle. You can't save that, right? You wouldn't want to stick that in the fridge and use that 4 weeks later. That is not going to be good. That will expire. So with hair color, if you're going to divvy out your kit into 2 uses, do make sure you mix it in a separate receptacle. So you would measure out, mix, and then put your lid for your color tube and your activator on nice and tight, and then put that in like, the hallway closet or somewhere cool and dark where it's not going to be, not being outside in a shed or something. I don't know, but it's a chemical. So you want to keep it cool and dry and tightly sealed.
Yeah, thanks for answering. So 1:1.5 ratio.
You got it.
Very
That's
nice.
1 part color.
Cool.
Okay. So Danae, let's come back to you to do what we call, this is something that as professional colorists, we always do this for our clients, but folks at home don't always know to do this. It's called cross-checking. And this is how you sort of just make sure you've gotten every hair. So if you look at how Danae applied her color, she did horizontal sections in the front of her head. And just to make sure that there's no grays getting away from us, she's going to do vertical sections going from the middle part down to her ear, and just pull the hair apart and make sure there's no grays sparkling through. And this is just sort of a foolproof way to make sure that you're taking a second look before you put your cap on, start your timer, all of that good stuff, and move on through the process.
Oh, my hair is crazy, excuse me.
Oh, that's okay.
I'm just gonna take my clips out. Okay. So we started in the center.
Mm-hmm. And these sections, when you do this, these don't have to be tiny like the sections that you use to apply. This is just you're checking yourself. What you're looking for is, you know how once you put the color on, you can still see some of those grays popping out of the color or shining through, or any dry spots. Use the remainder of color in your bottle to just tap those spots, make sure everything's nice and covered, and you're just kind of checking your own work there. Lovely.
I'll just pretend I have a little sparkle here. And
Yeah.
I would just go like this.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yep.
Or I would have just squirted it with my bottle.
Mm-hmm. Lovely. And the other thing too that's worth also mentioning is when you start your timer, right? So you will say process for 35 to 45 minutes. You start that timer when your color is fully applied. So you don't need to start it when the color just in the front is applied and then you're racing against the clock as you apply. Don't worry about that. Get all your roots on, then you start your timer for the 35 or 45. So we know that it's going to take you some time to get that color on your head. Don't worry about that. We don't want you feeling like you have to rush. Your hair is not going to turn too dark. It's nothing adverse is going to happen in you taking, 15 minutes to get your roots on. That's totally included in the timing. Lovely. Good job, Danae.
That's such a smart thing. I never do it. Actually, here's one place, like for me, I have sideburns. So this is one place I always like to check in and make sure I got all the way down, because it's just a little short hair and I want to make sure I get all my sparkles.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Okay, so while you're doing that, I'm going to cut over to one more question. So just as a reminder for anyone who joined late, if you want to ask questions live on air with us, go down to reactions, the reaction button, and you can hit raise hand and we will answer any questions that you have live. Okay, so Holly, I'm going to ask to unmute you.
Hi.
Hey, Holly.
Thank you so much for doing this. So I have a couple questions. I'm a natural redhead. My hair is short. So I have thick hair. It takes me a half an hour and I start from the bottom in the back in partitioning my hair out to get all my color in. So I'm always afraid that I'm going to drill too many holes in my hair if I start my timer after I'm done applying the color to my hair. Is that true or false?
False. It's really false. The process that color works, that oxidative process where, the activator and the color have their relationship and they're doing their thing, and that sort of stops happening at some point. It tires itself out. So if you are running a little late, taking a little long to get your color on, that color is going to slow down its own process. That's just natural. So you really don't need to worry about that at all. You can take as much time as you need to get that color on nice and thoroughly and set your timer. I mean, even as professionals, when we have a client in front of us who has tons of hair, really thick hair, it takes us 20-30 minutes to make sure that color is applied, and you still need 35 or 45 minutes to process. depending on gray resistance. So I would not be stressed out about that at all.
Okay, I want to give a huge shout out to one of your stylists. Because I have natural red hair, it's more on the chestnut color. I really had to play with it during COVID to get the color right.
Yeah.
And dealt with the same gal on the phone a couple of times, and she finally got the formulation down so right that my hairdresser hates her. Because I do my own color now, and I let him highlight my hair. And when I come in, he says, "Who's doing your base?" And I'm like, "I'm doing my base."
Oh my gosh, I love that. So what color are you using?
So I do sienna brown, and then
Uh-huh.
I do 2 inches of the Genova red.
Oh, I love it. Okay, so you're doing kind of some creative coloring. You do your roots with one and then you pull through with a different permanent color?
No, I'm mixing Genova red, the 2 inches, just I
Oh,
take,
I understand.
so I take the full sienna brown and put 2 inches of Genova red, do my roots, and then I'll take a wide tooth comb and pull it through. So I've got high and low lights, and then I let him highlight it.
Oh,
Red doesn't last that long, so I have to go in
yeah.
every weeks. So I let him highlight it every 2 months. But your hair color people did an amazing job for me. My hair colorist couldn't get it the way I wanted. So huge shout out. I love you guys so much.
Thank you. Thank you. I love that so much. That makes my heart so happy. That is why we do this. Like, this is literally our whole mission in life, is to provide beauty for women on their own terms. And so for you to say, you know, here's what I'm going to do on my own, and here's where I'm going to, you know, have a professional, you know, do something else, like that's the ideal, right? Is to have some control over your beauty routine. And that just makes me so happy that someone kind of worked with you to customize it and get it just right. And, you know, if you're new to Madison Reed and you didn't know this, when you call in our 800 number and you're getting color advice, you're talking to a licensed colorist. Our color crew is professional colorists who are working with you and who will look at photos and work to customize, and they are wonderful. So I so appreciate that shout out. That's going to make their day when I tell them that we got a hair color house party shout out for them. All right. So, Danae, you are fully applied, ready to go. Now you just did your roots, and you did your CrossCheck. We're going to talk a little bit about the option of using gloss on the ends, or just letting your ends just be as they are. So your hair color is pretty fresh. You're just going to put your cap on and process. Yeah?
Yep.
Okay. So watch Danae on the cap application. This seems like such a minor detail that we would never even need to talk about it, but this is sort of a crucial moment. When you put your cap on, be mindful that you're just putting that elastic just at the hairline or even slightly on top of it, not across the forehead. So one of the things, kind of a pitfall to avoid, is if you put the cap on and it goes across your forehead, you're trapping in heat from your scalp, which is why we actually use the cap. And it can start to get the color to like travel down to your forehead a little bit and get some skin staining that you don't need. So just keep that cap nice and tidy. And remember that cap is there not just to, you know, protect your clothes, and if you're sitting on your couch watching Netflix while you're processing, but this also traps in the scalp heat, which helps your gray cover. It sort of helps to like keep the color activated and soften the hair. And so if you've ever struggled with gray coverage and you're not using the cap, one of the first questions I will ever ask is, are you using the cap and are you putting enough color on? So please, please, please use the cap. You're going to get good gray coverage, and be neat so you don't put your skin in a weird position. That looks awesome. And then using, you know, our friend Siri to set your timer is also good, so you don't have to touch your phone with your gloved hands. Dale, you're doing fantastic over there. Yeah, that's perfect. And like no skin staining or anything. You're looking like a pro over there.
Better. Thank goodness, barrier cream. That's all I can say.
See, we're doing this together. And then there's also that stain removing wipe that's in the kit. And that thing is incredible. That'll get a stain off of anything. So that's a little towelette, and you just use that around your hairline, top of your ears, and that'll keep you all nice and tidy. And easy peasy, that's it. You just did your own color. Okay, so Danae, you work on your hairline. I'm gonna pop over and get a question, and then you're gonna show us your beautiful eyebrow filler inner trick, yes? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Dale, did you re-raise your hand? I'm gonna ask to unmute you. Okay, perfect. Okay, so you might have to touch your phone to hit unmute. I'm sorry.
Okay, no, I just wanted to talk about like how to pull it through, because I know Danae didn't do that, but I'm just kind of squirting it on the ends and rubbing it in. Is that all I do?
That is it. And,
Okay.
and the other thing too, Dale, if you find yourself with color left over, like if you've got some in the bottle, if you've got some in the bowl, just put it on. You're
Okay.
not, there's no downside or con to really good saturation. And you paid for it, right? You may as well have it on your hair, not in the trash.
Right.
So, you know, if you find yourself with extra, just go ahead and really slather it on well, especially around the roots. And that's going to get you good, rich, nice, solid results. I'm so
Okay, and then do I
excited.
want to comb it through, or does it matter if I comb it through?
It would only really matter looking at your length and your texture. I don't think so. Probably finger massaging is going to be just fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm excited for you. I love a big change all over going red. That's very exciting. Okay. So, okay, we don't have anyone else waiting to ask a question right now at this moment. So Danae, I'm going to give you the floor on eyebrows and using root touch-up powder for that.
Yeah, so I said I normally never go into Zoom without my brows on, but I said I would for this call. As we get more mature or lots of heavy thoughts, I started noticing that along with my stripe, I was starting to get little sparkles in my eyebrows. And I usually have always done brow powder just because I have very thick and crazy brows. It helps to hold them in place and keeps them looking quote and coiffed. But what I started seeing is I'd get little white hairs in there. So of course, one, all right, I'll pluck it. But when it became more than one, I didn't want to have a bunch of patches. So I'm so grateful for our root touch-up because it's highly pigmented. It's a great weight and it's been wonderful. I use it every single day to do my brows, and I said I would do it for you all on the call. So I use Ombre, and I also like our full-size brow brush. There's an angle brush on one end and a little mascara spoolie on the other, and that's just to kind of like, you know, brush your brows into place and kind of get them into position and ready for the powder.
Mm-hmm.
And then our root touch-up comes in this really great compact with a full mirror, so you can do this anywhere on the go. It also comes in, because we sell this for root touch-up, this is the application brush that helps you to put in your roots, like in between colors. I use this also in between colors when I just need a quick touch-up when I want to cover some of my outgrowth. And so I use it for that, and it's nice and big with a nice wide pan. But what I'm going to show you is how I use it for my brows. So I just go in and I'm just going to take the angle brush end of the applicator and just brush it in the powder. I just do little strokes. It honestly doesn't take that much powder because it's highly pigmented. And then I'm just going to start from the inside, or like close to the nose bridge, and work my way out into my arch. So,
and while she's doing that, I just want to kind of point out a couple of things that are really amazing about this root touch-up powder. So first of all, the compact itself is beautiful. It's magnetic. It's not going to open up in your purse and spill all over everything. It lasts for so long. And the same team that formulated our hair color formulated these powders. So they are meant to look soft, multi-tonal, dimensional, what you would want on your hair. So they made such a natural sort of partner for brow. And it does not get everywhere. That's my absolute number one pet peeve with any kind of temporary root touch-up is I don't want to think if it starts to drizzle, I'm going to have, you know, brown makeup running down my face outside, right? Like this stays put, it's rainproof, it doesn't slip everywhere. It's just, you can count on it, and it's not going to call you out. No one's going to know that you've got this on your roots. But look at how, like, that was like 2 swipes, I feel like, of color.
Yeah, it's just a couple, of course I'm getting all edgy, but it's highly pigmented. It does not take much on the brow, and it covers really, really well. I had a great big white hair right here, and it's completely covered. Like,
Yeah.
I don't even sweat. And it lasts all day long.
And this is the darkest brown. There's medium brown, there's light golden brown. There's a lot of nuanced shades, right? So it's not either that you're using something really light or dark. There's a lot of shades in the middle.
Alexa?
Amazing. I didn't know you were a makeup influencer as well. I'm so impressed by you. Okay, we're gonna pop over and take another question while you continue to beautify your brows. Okay, let me head over to our question askers. Okay, Susan, I'm gonna ask to unmute you. Hey, Susan.
How are you?
I'm great, how are you?
It's a little dark here. I was just gonna get a little bit more light here.
Okay.
Let me just see if I can get a little bit more light here so that you can see, because my question is very.
Okay.
All right. So I use Madison Reed. I've been using it for about a year, and I just got my kit. And I was on a previous party. I think it was last month or so.
Okay.
And I realized you're not supposed to put the root all over the hair, which is
Alrighty.
what I was doing. So the girl that I spoke to said to use cream or a gloss.
Okay.
So
Yep.
I got the gloss. So my question is, I have gray just here.
Yeah.
Around my face.
Okay.
And so it covers really well, but can I apply the roots and the gloss at the same time? Because the girl told me not to do that. She told me to do my roots and then wait a couple of days and then do not my roots, but the rest of my hair. And I have long hair.
Okay. I am wondering, there may have been a specific reason that I'm not aware of that she would have advised you to do that. In general, Susan, the answer is yes. You can absolutely use the permanent color on your roots and the gloss on the mid lengths and ends, which is a really good reminder because that's the giveaway that we're going to do. So I do want to speak to that. So Susan, for you, if you want to just apply your permanent color to your root area around your hairline, and then put the gloss on just at the dry part all the way down. Yeah, I mean, we call that the perfect pair, and we love it because, you know, you don't have to do 2 different processes, and you set the time. So gloss doesn't need quite as long as color needs. So once you get that color put on, set your timer for 45, put your gloss on, and then the gloss will then have been on there for about 30, 35, you know, for however long it takes you to get the roots on, and process them together and just shampoo them out. As long as they're not overlapping, you're fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the gloss goes on for like 30 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
give or take. So usually with just the roots, it goes really quick. It was just the whole rest of the hair, like.
Sure, yeah. Because it's a
Demonstrator
cream, so it's harder to get it through. But that gloss has that really thin sort of serum viscosity to it. So it makes it'll be fast to get that through your hair. Yeah, do them at the same time.
So do I have to use the whole bottle of gloss, or can I just use?
No, in fact, you've got long hair, but for me, what I do when I use gloss is I just section out the top halo of my hair because I really just want it where you can see it, right? And then so I'll put that through the middle links and ends at the top, and I'll get 2 uses out of it, sometimes 3.
Okay.
So, yeah. So with the gloss, absolutely get as many uses out of it as you can.
So from here all the way to the end.
Yeah, wherever you're ending that gray coverage. So if your gray ends at
I'm
about
only gray like an inch and a half.
yeah,
So,
then
okay.
put your radiant cream color on at that top inch, and then just give yourself like a millimeter of space, and then do your gloss from here down. Yeah,
Cool.
that'll be definitely the most convenient way to do
Thank
that.
you.
You got it. Okay, so we do need to announce quickly our winner for tonight. And now, so what you're winning is the full package. We're giving you radiant cream color and color reviving gloss. So you'll get both of these amazing products. Yay, thank you, Danae. Wow, you're such a great spokesperson. Thank you, Vanna. Okay, so our winner for tonight is Josephine Chan. Do we have Josephine? Yay! I know, I really need some confetti to throw. So Josephine, what we're gonna do is we're gonna reach out via email. We're gonna get you color matched, make sure that we get you the exact right thing, and then you're gonna get some free hair color from Madison Reed. So we will reach out to you and make sure that you are all taken care of. Okay, awesome, Josephine, congrats.
Congratulations.
Okay. So we are coming pretty darn close to the end. I think we've got time for one more question. I am going to, I think Rima had another question. Rima, did you have a follow-up? I'm just asking to unmute Rima. Oh, awesome. There you go.
Is this what you mean by gloss?
Okay, this is this evening, you all have been the best question askers. Every question you ask is something else I wanted to talk about. This is not gloss, but this is another great product. If you can see what Rima's holding up, this is the Color Therapy Mask. So this is a tinted conditioner. Also wonderful. Use this, really, you can almost use this anytime that you would be conditioning your hair. This is tinted conditioner that keeps depositing tone, because regardless of how beautiful color is or how great quality color is, it all fades over time, right? So what we want to do is have a way to keep adding tone back into your color so it stays really fresh looking. And this has color in the conditioner. So you put that on your hair, you leave that for 5 minutes, rinse it with coolish water, and that's going to keep your brunette looking really nice. Cuts down on prep. Yeah,
it does.
Awesome. I'm so glad that you're liking that. Yeah.
Can I get help with coloring with the right color, because I'm using the Solo Brown?
Yeah.
I need to talk to somebody. Can I ask for you?
Of course. So we're about to wrap up for tonight. So here's what I'll tell everybody as we sort of, say our goodbyes for the evening. When we end the segment tonight, there's a card that goes up on your screen, and it has the email address to write us. That goes directly to me. So if we've been chatting, you can say, hey, it's Rima, we talked about blank, and I'll remember you. And then you and I will have a personalized chat. So if you had a question tonight that was a little bit more specific or personal to your color formula, maybe not just a general how-to, and you want to just email back and forth with me, grab that email. I think they're going to put that up now, and we will chat. So our next hair color house party is on March 24th, same time, and email us in the interim. It was very lovely to hang out with all of you. Thank you so much for attending, and happy coloring. Thanks, everyone.